going on, everybody? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports Tuesday Hardwood Show. I'm your host, Mangone. It's a special show, not because we got JT, me, and Big T here. We got Hoop here to address some of the people. I don't know where Mr. Over-Under is here, but we got Mike Pettit in the chat. Hoop, we'll kick it off with you first. How's it going over there? How's your NBA day going?
Yeah, it's going well. I figured I had to hop on. I mean, it was just a victory lap that I couldn't resist taking. I mean, yesterday was so much fun on the show. We had a good old time, and the back talk from Over Under, who I'm not seeing in the chat. He's a loyal guy. He listens to all the shows. I was hoping he was going to be here, but he might be a little bit I don't know, too afraid maybe to show his face after what transpired yesterday. If you didn't watch the show, we were breaking down the slate. It was going well. Me, BigT, TitleTown, everyone having a good old time. And, we got to the 76ers news, and they ruled Tobias Harris out. And, I said, Tobias Harris is out. That kind of changes the slate. That's big news at the time. Joel Embiid was still questionable. I said, you know what? I think Embiid probably ends up playing, because if they're going to rule him out, they probably would have just ruled him out at the same time they ruled out Tobias Harris. I said, so at this point, I kind of think he plays. Well, then later on in the show, the news had changed, and Doc Rivers made that comment where Embiid is highly questionable. And this Over-Under dude just freaking lost it. Hoop2410 spreads false information. He's spreading fake news on this channel. RPS is just a bunch of fake news, spreading whatever news they want that doesn't even have any backing, blah, blah, blah. So it was a good, fun time on the show. And what do you know? And what do you freaking know? Joel Embiid played last night. And we even went as far on the show to say, guess what? You know what? Over-Under, you made a mistake. You called me out. You were wrong. If Embiid is ruled in the last 20 minutes of the show, we're going to give him a free ticket to that $600 contest. I wish we would have got the news a little bit sooner, but Embiid ended up playing, so I'm here for my victory lap. Tony, we had fun with it, though. That was a lot of fun yesterday, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was the best, too, because you were going to give the ticket, too, if the Embiid news hit, and it hit 20 minutes after our show ended. It would have been the most legendary ever if it hit before we got off the show, but hit a little later. It was definitely, it's fun when the chat comes after you and then they just are proven wrong.
Yeah, we love hanging with the chat. JT, where you kind of didn't get to hear it all. What'd you think of all the commentary Hoop had there on that?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic for people to question you guys. I mean, we have these discussions every night, and Hoop, I don't know. I would say you got about an 85, 90% rate of being right with your gut on these things, right? I will say yesterday up to lock was really one of the most tilting days of the season so far, with that, he's very questionable. And then I'm like, the more we don't hear anything, the harder it becomes to make lineups. Let me just start making my lineups without these guys. And then sure enough, he played. So, but Chad was great last night. They were taking some shots at poor Over-Under, and it was a good mojo all day today too. So, Travis, I'm glad Travis was here. Travis actually was very questionable to make the show with a thumb contusion. He said it came from playing COD.
No, that's not how it came from.
I think he may have gotten it through another activity, but I don't want to go into those details. So. Let's just say I'm glad to see Travis, my guy.
Listen, so I'll tell a story. I went skiing on Saturday, right? I helped with some high school kids, and they needed someone else to come along on the trip. And I went skiing with them. When I was helping one of the kids teach him how to ski second time, then some of the other kids said, we're going to go on some of the tougher trails. And I'm pretty good. So I said, okay, I'll go with you guys. We went skiing. They hit the terrain park, which I used to be able to hit when I was a kid. I was pretty good. And they said, the jump's over there. You can hit. I said, I can't even see the jump. So I couldn't eye it up beforehand, right, and see what it looks like. And I went up and I ate it pretty bad. I took the jump the next time and I successfully did it. I got it back up on my feet the next run. But I hurt my thumb, man. It's not in the best shape. It's a little black and blue, but fighting through. I
don't think anyone's really surprised. I mean, the video emerged, a couple years ago of you racing down a hotel hallway and tripping over your own feet and falling. So I don't think anyone's going to be really surprised about this injury.
Yeah, it was definitely rough. But I will say, of this four-man booth, I think I'm the best, skier, right? I might not be the best basketball player, but I would say skiing I'm pretty good at. It was my first time back in 4 years, and rough a bit, but had a good time nonetheless. Hoop, we got other people in the chat. They're still calling you out. Someone said they can beat you in head-to-head. So whoever that is, I think it was 353. Like, dude, go scoop his stuff up. That's my favorite. We got people going on Tony. I saw on Big T's Twitter today. Some of you guys are soft. Listen, if you think you can give it, you got to be able to take it as well, right? Like I walked out there, I took that run, and I fell, and I lost my money. But I put my money on the line. That's okay. Tony, what do you think? Like, I mean, these people, they got to realize if we come at them, they got to be able to take it as well.
I mean, I'm all for the trash talk too. I like it. Some people like Slappy. There's been Slappies along the way that's not even trash talk. Like when you just go in the chat every night and just like bring constant negativity, that's not trash talk. Trash talk's coming on saying you picked a loser. You argue how me and Hoop and Mangone and JT we do here and there. Like this guy said that. That's just trash talk. But going in every single night and just spewing negativity, that's not trash talk. That's how you get booted out of the Discord. There's a huge difference. I can take plenty of trash talk. You talk all the trash you want to me about the plays. If it's a bad play, talk all the trash you want. But there's a huge, huge difference. Yeah, Mangone, that's what makes everyone like Mangone. He can take it. He can dish it out. That's what it comes with the territory.
And Hoop, I know you're going to get out of here before we get into it, but I know you're upset because where is Mr. Tony Snell behind JT? Hoop, you got to be.
Where is Tony Snell? This is not acceptable.
This is. I mean, the word. I mean, you know the word that's coming. It's very, very, very hurtful, man.
It's not, and I'll tell you why. The reason why people tune into this show, the reason why we do so well is because we don't form those emotional attachments. We don't. Tony was good one day. Guess what? It's not Tony Snell time anymore. There'll be a new picture up next week, maybe Thursday. Maybe Thursday I'll have a new picture. I still have a place in my heart for Tony. Still have a place for him in my heart. But you can't play Tony Snell above minimum price. Get out of here.
You got to earn your keep on that wall, and Mr. Snell did not do it, unfortunately. He's gone.
It's a temporary wall. It's a temporary wall. Everything up there is temporary. It can always come down. I might actually, depending on if it's good or not tonight, Travis, I might put the cash chart up there next Thursday.
Oh, the cash chart. That would be nice to have up there. If people can look at that. We'll get the pink lights in the room. You'll have the guitar going, Tony Snell up there, and the cash chart as well. Hoop, do you have a 4X play or anything else for Mr. Over?
Yeah, let me. You know what? Let me get you the 4X before I get out of here. Talk about going to something else, and I'll get you the 4X play here before.
Yeah, check that out. And then Big T, I guess before we kind of dive in, give like your slate.
Oh, we might need
to overreach it, right? It's a little
Mangone's losing his internet there for a minute.
Hoop's
back in the host role today.
I'm back, baby. Let's go.
All right, my internet back now. Am I okay?
I didn't hear a word he just said, but you were leading into something he said.
Okay, we thought it was the FBI coming after whatever you did with those children over the weekend. I don't know what kind of bullshit story that was, but
so I was asking Big T 777, is he coming out tonight? Like, is this the slate overview? Are we attacking the first game? Well, what's kind of your overall slate strategy here?
No, I mean, it's not necessarily one of those slates. It's not. I hope it's not. Like, I don't like those slates, as crazy as it sounds. I don't liking the first game. It just sometimes happens. Tonight, I don't know. I'm not a fan of Memphis. Like, we talked about it in the chat a little bit earlier today. I don't know. Like, they're in a good spot, but man, I every dude on the team I don't like. So makes it tough. I don't know. It might be the opposite of Dexter 777 today.
Well, if that's the case, you're going to like the 4X play. The 4X play is coming from the last game, boys. The last game of the slate. What time is that one? 10 p.m. Eastern. And it's a big name. Probably the biggest name in the NBA, but I think he comes in at some low ownership. Mr. LeBron James. Been playing well lately. Minutes cut extremely short last time out, like really short because of that blowout against the Warriors, but he was playing good. I think he had like 30-some fantasy points at halftime. Prior to that, he had a 70 fantasy point game. If he gets his full allotment of minutes, I think he has a monster performance. He's going to come in behind Jokic. He's going to come in behind Giannis for sure. He's I think really low ownership. So I like LeBron James here in a game that should remain close. The spread here is only 1.5. Just playing really well. And like I said, the results don't show it because of the blowout last time out. So give me Mr. LeBron James as the 4X play of the day at low ownership.
All right, and then Hoop, you got one more thing to do before we get on out of here. You gotta tell the people what do you tell them every single day?
Hit the damn like button so we don't have to beg and plead for it. Very simple. You guys are doing a good job, though. I mean, 530, 540, 215, and we haven't even mentioned it yet. Keep it going. I'm going to be in the chat. I'm going to keep getting on everyone to pound the like. So good luck to everyone tonight in your contest. Mangone, JT, Big T, good luck tonight. I'll be in touch, boys.
Later. All right, it was good to have Hoop here talk to Mr. Over Under, and he'll be doing the cash chart over here at Run Pure Sports. Be sure to check that out. I know JT is all over the cash chart. It's one of his favorite things over there at Run Pure Sports. So we heard Big T's kind of slate overview. JT, we got to get yours. Like, what are you kind of thinking on this slate? Are you attacking this a certain way in tournaments today?
Yeah, it's interesting. You've got, Tony talked about Memphis. You never know if Valanciunas and Ja are going to play 25 minutes or are they going to play 35 minutes, right? It's kind of a guessing game. They've got a bunch of these guys that play 20 minutes a piece. Some prices are nice. I mean, the price on Ja is nice. Price on Valanciunas is nice. Then we've got the Spurs, who we all love, on a back-to-back, which is disgusting. On the flip side of that, you've got the Knicks, who are going to play their starters until they pass away on the court. So that's a good option for us tonight. And then you've got a game that I think a lot of people are going to like a whole lot, which is Milwaukee and Denver. Denver on a back-to-back after a little bit of a close game last night. And I think it's going to be popular. I don't love the prices in that game. So I think we're going to have to, it's going to be tough. And I was looking at that Phoenix Los Angeles game, the last game of the night. A lot of those prices are tough too. Even LeBron at 10-7 in a game that, I think the way it most likely plays out is really going to be a very slow, ugly defensive affair. So, but we're going to talk through it. And of course, we got Atlanta and Miami. Atlanta with a new coach. So hopefully they'll take the reins off of my guy, Tony Snell, and he'll see the 40 minutes that he deserves. But no, I don't expect that to happen. So it's an interesting slate.
Yep, definitely an interesting slate. Before we dive into this first game, I want to talk about how great we've been doing over here at Run Pure Sports. I mean, everyone's been on fire. Everything's clicking. It feels like every night someone's taking something down. Simo's on the heater. Big T's on the heater. Everyone is crushing it over at Run Pure Sports. If you want to get in and check out the stuff that we have over here in NBA, use the code FREETICKET. If you use that code, that is giving you a $600 free ticket on March 11th. You're going to qualify for that. Big T, how about you tell the people a little more about that?
About what? All the free seats?
Yeah, the free ticket. Because we're not only giving one ticket to a free person, we're giving it to a member as well.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, yesterday we gave a free ticket too, just for clicking the freaking like button. They got to 500 and then 600 or whatever it was. Put a dude in. I don't think he ended up shipping, but free ticket. And then going forward, I think it's 5,000. We get 5,000 subscribers on the YouTube page, or what's the 10,000 on the Twitter page. So super easy. We're going to give out a seat. We're going to give one to the members. What's the exact date though? The first day back from the All-Star break is the day I think we're doing
March 11th. So we got about 9 days to get there.
Yeah. So I mean, there's plenty of time, and it's easy. Like, just click the subscribe, click the like, go to the Twitter page. Most people in here probably already do this, but if you haven't, helps us a lot, and we're going to keep giving these tickets away. Yesterday, we weren't even planning on doing that, did it? You never know when we'll give them out. All you got to do, have good mojo, bring the heat. That's all it takes.
Yep, that's all it takes. So use that code free ticket to qualify. New members get that, and we're also going to do one for the members. Let's dive in, though. We've talked about a bunch of stuff. Let's talk about the games, though, right? Because these are some pretty good ones. We got the Wizards, and we have the Memphis Grizzlies, and I'm kind of excited about this game. I think it's a good one to attack in tournaments. JT, I'm going to go to you first. I really like Westbrook. I really like Beal. I think those are two spend-up options that might not get the love that they deserve on this slate. I understand people are looking at John Moran because he's 7K, and I'm looking at him as well because it's a really cheap price tag in that matchup against the Wizards, and there's tons of really good cheap value, or I shouldn't say really good, but decent cheap value that we should want to maybe target. How are you handling this 236 total, JT?
Yeah, I do like pieces of this game, and you mentioned Westbrook. I like him actually quite a bit as a pivot off of some of these other guys that are going to be much more highly owned. I think on the Washington side, once you get past Beal and Westbrook, it's very difficult just because of the way that Scott Brooks has been managing the rotations. But that being said, Davis Bertans is 4.7 tonight on DraftKings. That's about the cheapest he's been since he's come back healthy and been playing minutes. Memphis is a team that yields a lot of points, in particular to the forward position. So if he gets hot shooting, he'll easily beat that 4.7 price. So I think he's a mid-range option in play. And then Memphis, I think you can again, it's a crapshoot. It's a risk because sometimes these guys play big minutes, and sometimes, especially if they get down, they're going to be shifting pieces. But I think Valanciunas is definitely in play. Obviously, Ja at 7K is too cheap for him in a matchup that's just about the best for point guards in the league. Brooks has to hit his shots. He's coming off a bad shooting night. He shot 3 for 8 his first time out after the thigh injury. It was a game they didn't really need him because they just completely dusted Houston. I'm going to be careful about this value on the Memphis side. I mean, I know that people are going to be playing Des Bane again. I played him the other night at 3-2. He's still around the same price, 3-4, but he shot 6 for 7 in that game with 7 rebounds, and he's just so inconsistent that if you can find a way to get off of him, I think you're going to be very different. And if you play any of the guys on the Washington side like Beal or Westbrook, you're going to be very different in tournaments. And it's an approach I like quite a bit tonight.
All right, Big T, how about you? How are you approaching this first game on the slate starting at 7?
Yeah, man, it's tough because, like you said, we've been joking around all season. Big T 7-7-7, get off to a start, make people catch you. Man, this spot's tough because Washington has been a really good team to pick on. They've been awesome with Westbrook and Beal scoring a bunch of points, playing better lately. But Memphis, man, I struggle with Memphis. I never play these guys ever, especially as chalk. Like Ja Morant chalk is exactly what I like to fade, especially out of the gate. I don't like Ja. He just hasn't shown it to me. And if he's going to be chalky, I mean, we always talk about this as tournament players every day on the show, but he needs to get like, he's 7K on both sites, 7K and 7,100. I mean, he needs to get 50 for me really to feel the pain. If he gets like 40 even, I'm not crying or shaking in my boots. I just don't see it. Like, I think most of the time he's going to get mid-30s. Like, I'm just not that worried about it. It's kind of like last night with all the talk about like PJ Washington and even LaMelo. I wasn't like terrified of these guys. LaMelo ended up going off for 60, but a lot of those other dudes busted. I don't know. Like, I'm not scared of Memphis. I'm really not. I mean, a few of these guys might get there, but like Desmond Bane, am I really worried about Desmond freaking Bane? No. If he beats me, he beats me. I hope he's 40, 50% owned because he's just as likely to get you like 12 as he is to get you 30 again. And I can't wait to fade these crappy Memphis guys. Like, I just don't see it. If I was going to play anyone, it would be Joe Val, just because he at least has upside when he gets it going. But I don't even like him all that much. I mean, he's just got so much variance in what he does, which as a tournament player, you probably shouldn't care. But I just hate these guys. Like, if they get run off the court, they just don't play minutes. I mean, he played 12 minutes versus Houston, 24 versus the Clippers, 25 versus Phoenix. There's just no minutes upside. So, yeah, he can crush, but again, he's 7,200. Same as I said about Ja. Like, he needs 50 for me really to be scared. And he's not getting 50. Like, I just don't see it. So I'm leaning towards a fade, and it's kind of like similar builds as I've done all year, though. Team stacks over game stacks. I think Westbrook and Beal are great, great plays. If anyone plays Westbrook and Beal, they're going to play Memphis guys, I promise you. So what happens if we don't play Memphis guys with these guys? We're different already. And these guys have actual upside. You can even play both of them. Tonight might not be a both of them night just because of other stars on the slate, but you could. I mean, I don't have an issue with it. And if you don't play Memphis guys with them, though, you're almost guaranteed to be unique, because I promise you, everyone that plays these guys is running it back with Bane or Ja or Joe Val or these cheap guys. You're different immediately. I'll find some value somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm actually leaning in my tournament team. I'm leaning on playing one of Giannis and Jokic and then one of Beal or Westbrook. That's kind of my current lean right now. So glad to hear that I'm kind of aligning with you a bit, Big T. I sent you my team last night. I said you're going to make fun of my cash team, and you were like, I love that team. So good to see that we're already aligning pretty well, and I did well last night, so I can't complain there. JT, what are you thinking between Beal and Westbrook? That's the one I've gone back and forth on. I think you can make a case for either one because when I'm looking at optimal builds, right, I'm seeing a lot of Ja, I'm seeing a lot of Derrick Rose, and I'm thinking which guy is worth fading, right? I think you could play like Westbrook with Rose and then go like maybe like Rose with Beal, or maybe go Rose and Beal, right? Like that could be a unique route because playing two basically shooting guards, because a lot of people are plugging Rose in at the shooting guard, could get you a little different. So what do you think of all that with kind of mixing and matching some guys at those guard spots to get unique?
Yeah, so I know that not a lot of people play this way, but this is sort of the way that I play almost all the time. It's the same reason I faded PJ Washington last night. It had the added bonus of being a back-to-back. I mean, a guy goes absolutely nuclear. He does everything for that team the night before, and then he's going to be 45% owned again the next night. He's not going to have the same performance. I didn't see that he was going to completely bust, but you know, Bradley Beal took that game over in Boston last week. He went absolutely nuts. He took 25 shots. I think he might have hit 17 of his 25 shots, something like that. I think I'd rather play Westbrook than Beal, and then Westbrook is actually more expensive than Beal. So I think people are going to see that performance. They're going to say, all right, Beal's going to go on a run. And nah, Beal's going to have a good game, but Westbrook, I think, has the upside in this matchup tonight. And again, I think because I'm going to have more than one lineup. Yeah, I'm not going to go heavy on Memphis. I agree. I'm definitely fading that Memphis value because I think there's some other value on the slate that is sure a little scary, but also is going to be almost completely unowned and in some good spots.
Yeah, hopefully you guys can talk me out of some better values because I definitely struggled with that. I'm probably mixing in more Memphis value than you guys right now, but we'll have to see once we get to the end of the show. Tony, give me your final thoughts. Like Westbrook or Beal, you had to pick one. Like who's your guy? My lean was Westbrook, but I'm still going back and forth on.
I've been Westbrook the whole time. I'm still going to stay Westbrook looks good to me. I mean, he has looked very, very good. Last game, yeah, 47 to Beal's. What Beal get 60, 62. But if you look at the rest of the games, I mean, you got 60, 52, 52, 63, 61, 52, 56. This is the Westbrook of old, and I don't think people have realized it. I mean, he is very, very consistent. He has his legs. It's tough not to play Westbrook. It literally is the Westbrook of old. He's got his legs. He's playing 36 minutes a night. He's crushing. And his floor with the rebounds and assists and everything he does is through the roof. I mean, you got like a 50-point floor, like a 75-point ceiling. That's exactly what you want. I love Beal. Beal, if I had to pick my basketball player, I'm picking Beal every time. If I'm picking fantasy, though, I'm going to pick Westbrook every time over Beal. He's just a better fantasy guy to me. Like, it's not even close. But I still don't – I don't hate the idea. Just as my mind's working as you guys are talking, I don't hate the idea of playing Westbrook and Beal together with no one else in the game. Fading Jokic and Giannis, hope that game somehow blows out. Play some of the Denver value guys instead of the Memphis value guys. You got a totally unique roster with a team that makes sense. Like those Denver value guys, if that game somehow blew out, those guys will smash, like totally smash in that game. So I don't hate that idea. I'm going to throw that out there.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. And a couple more notes I'll make here on these guys. Westbrook, he says he's healthier, right? That was a quote that came out across like maybe a couple weeks ago. Yeah, but it's even better that he said it, right? Because once he says it, like, he kind of gave me the green light, and that's why I've been firing on him more. Bradley Beal, the one thing that's nice about him is he's going against Memphis, and Memphis, they are, I think, 6th worst at defending the three-point line, and we know Bradley Beal's good at that, obviously. And then one last thing I'll mention, Kyle Anderson news kind of matters. I did the bet show with Spread today, and he talked about how the usage rate, if you take Kyle Anderson off the court, it bumps Ja's usage up like 5%. So if Anderson happens to be out, that's obviously big news that can help some of those value plays and help a guy like Ja Morant a little bit. Tony, I saw you shaking your head. Were you shaking your head at me or something in the chat?
No, the chat. I mean, I got to get after the chat right away. I mean, Tyron Lovelady, I like that last name, but I mean, he says, pretty sure Big T says he hates Westbrook and he sucks a month ago. I still hate Westbrook as a player. I hate Westbrook as a player. I hate Giannis as a player. Doesn't mean I don't like him DFS wise. And a month ago, the dude had no legs. So I don't know what you're saying, but you obviously haven't listened to all my shows. You would know exactly where I stand with Westbrook. That's how I've always felt about Westbrook.
Yeah, Tyron, there's a difference in DFS, right? Like my 3 best hits so far this year have all had Giannis on them, but I still hate the dude. We're BFFs in fantasy. Like he's my guy now. Like I'll go down with him in fantasy, but he can't shoot. Like Westbrook's really similar. He's an amazing at producing fantasy points, but the dude can't shoot, and he's not someone that's going to help you win as many games. Maybe those regular season ones. JT, you got any thoughts for Mr. Tyron Lovelady?
No, I mean that's a hurtful comment. We won't address that, but I think back to the Beal Westbrook point. I mean, if you watch those Washington games, almost 95% of the time that Washington has the ball, one of those two guys or both of them are involved in every play. That's why it's so hard to play any of these other guys. And why I say, yeah, I mean, if you want to play one other guy, I do think Bertans at 4.7. If he gets hot shooting, he could easily crush that price tag.
All right. Well,
almost like a Brooklyn situation, right? Harden and Kyrie, all the usage. Yeah. Westbrook and Beal, all the usage. And it's weird because no one ever plays Harden and Kyrie together either. And I don't get it. I think there's a lot of edge to, and you get all of the usage. I mean, they both have huge floors. It just makes too much sense to me, honestly. Even say the other game goes crazy. I use this example a lot, but the floors of these guys is not going to beat you. Like, yeah, if it's just a total blowout in the early game, then maybe you lose. But as long as this game stays somewhat close, both of these guys are getting you 50 points. Like, even if Giannis and Jokic go off later, you're still going to be in decent shape with these guys.
Yep, no, I'm with you on that. Let's move on to the next game. Before we do that, we got 701 people watching, and BigT, they're doing great, right? 345 likes. But what's the number, right? You've been given a number this week. Yeah. What's this week's number we're getting to?
I mean, so 2 weeks ago, 400 was the number. I thought it was pretty easy. I said it all week. Pretty easy. Freebie for the gear. Last week was 450. We struggled a little bit all week. Pretty easy, though, again. We got there. This week was 500. Yesterday, they blew me away. I mean, we had literally by 5:30 we had almost 600. So it's 500 again, though. We're just going up 50 a week, nice and easy. We're already at 350, 700 watching. The people are taking care of us. It's not hurtful anymore. They're definitely appreciating it, bringing the good mojo, and we're going to keep picking winners as long as they bring the good mojo with us.
Yeah, and that's what we do on the Tuesday show, right? The good mojo, the winners, that's all we're trying to give. So
I wish you could post that GIF you posted in the Discord right now on the screen, because that one of us three dancing was really good stuff.
Simon, if you can find that and then throw it up maybe to close the show. I posted around 4:25 in the NBA channel, or I can send it to you on my phone right now.
I mean, that GIF would definitely bring some good mojo to the show.
All right, I will send it to Simon, but before that, I will go on to the next game. I'll throw it to one of you, and then I'll send it to our producer. Let's go to the Clippers and the Celtics. 7:30 game, definitely the TNT game of the night. A fun one to watch, but is it a fun one for DFS? JT, Kawhi is only 8.8K. It's kind of interesting. I think there's a lot of upside still at that price, and we're waiting on the Jaylen Brown news. So talk to me about this game.
Yeah, I think so. I think Boston's prices, all of them are elevated because they've been missing guys. So a lot depends on if Jaylen Brown is in. Even if he's in, I don't know that I'm going to have interest in 7K Kemba on DraftKings or 9.4 for Tatum in this matchup. It's just, yeah, he could get 50, but I just don't see there being a tremendous amount of upside there. On the Clippers side, it seems like they're priced all pretty much down, at least the players that I would want to play. Kawhi is 8.8. Paul George on DraftKings is 8.4. And even it's a good play at 8.4. It's an even better play if Jaylen Brown misses. We saw what Bradley Beal did to that team with the secondary defenders. And then there's a guy who every now and then his price dips to a point that I think you have to take interest. And it's a guy who I kind of hate his game, even though he's good for the team. But every now and then he pops up with these ridiculous upside games, and you never know that they're coming. But Patrick Beverley at 3.8K on DraftKings is someone that I've had my eye on all day in this matchup. It's been a good matchup, especially when Kemba's been healthy, for opposing point guards. And I think this is a matchup where you could see him approach 30 minutes, and I could honestly see him going for upwards of 30 fantasy points. So Pat Beverly is an interesting play at 3.8. I'm sure Tony's going to hate that play, but from a math perspective, and he's done this. There was one, I think it was last January. It was a game, and AP had him on his team, and I had him on my team, and we were both watching, and he just went off, and he was the same thing. He was like 3.8, 3.7K, comes out of nowhere. So I'll take a shot on him tonight.
BigT, this smells like a game that you don't want any part of, but tell JT, should Pat Beverly be played or not played?
So the funny thing about Beverly is I probably played him as much as anyone because he exactly what JT says. Like, he has these random games where he starts getting into it with, like, he'll get into it with Kimba. Kimba will somehow piss him off tonight, and he'll just start getting up in him. And it's just a matter of if he hits those threes. Like, if he can get a couple to fall, he just gets it going. He'll have a game where he gets a bunch of steals, and it's just how Pat Bev is. He's super high variance. Like, some games you'll play him, he'll literally get you like 6 fantasy points and just crush your dreams. But he's cheap enough where unless he just totally busts, you're okay. I mean, he has a lot of games. Like, let's pull up his box scores. I mean, 13,
Those box scores are disgusting. His box scores are disgusting.
They're not even that bad. They're not worse than Desmond Bain, though.
No.
Like,
I think there's much more upside in Pat Beverly tonight than there is in Desmond Bain for 400 more, where if this is a game where it's close and back and forth, the Clippers will actually rely on Pat Bev's defense. If this game gets sloppy and the Celtics start throwing the ball around, and the other thing is the shooting, right? So I do like taking these players that have been poor shooting lately. Pat Bev's last game, it wasn't good. 2 for 8 shooting. I think he was something like 0 for something from 3. So he just hits a few more of those shots at 3.8, and already he's at 6x. So I don't care what anybody in the chat says. You don't have to play Pat Beverly, but if you want to win tonight, I think there's a good chance that Pat Beverly can get you there.
Someone in the chat said I'd rather play Wes Matthews.
But it's the same thing these guys said when I said Tony Snell was min-price. You see? So I have the credibility here, chat.
Listen, I'm not going to argue with it. And I might show up here on Thursday and there might be Patrick Beverly on the wall. So I might be looking at the show and he might be hanging up there. But I think the Patrick Beverly call is not bad. Tony, you look at the game logs a lot, right? Like, what do you think of Paul George's? Because he was one I was like, I don't know if I can play. But then I pulled him up and I was like, listen, it's not bad, right? Like, and if the dude can actually get hot and hit a shot, it's not the worst play in the world, right? I feel like shooting guard is a good spot to maybe get a little unique. So what do you think of Paul George?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can't play Paul George. I mean, I don't know. Like, he's probably okay. His price point is decent. I mean, I have a hard time playing Paul George and Kawhi.
I'm with you. I like Kawhi more, though, for what it's worth. I think Kawhi is I think you could see him be the alpha basically on what happened on Sunday in that Milwaukee game. And you could really see him dominating. At 8.8K, he could get you 50 really easily.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he does, though, is the problem.
Yeah, there's other guys I like, too. But
I'm always like, I just won't ever play these guys. That's just one of my weaknesses for sure. Is I just there'll never be a time I'll play these guys unless it's a big game, unless guys are out, once the playoffs get here, I got no problem playing these dudes. But man, on a Tuesday night in friggin' early March, I just can't do it. If Kawhi and Paul George are the reason I lose money tonight, I just live with it and move on to tomorrow. I mean, the price does look decent, 8,800. I don't think there's a ton of risk. But, man, I can't play these guys over, I know it's not the exact same price, but once you get up in the high prices, I'm just going to play the studs over these guys. I don't know. I have no problem with it, but it's not going to be a play for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. JT, what were you going to say?
I just want to play devil's advocate here a little bit on this, just because of these price points. I understand. It's difficult. It's a game that you don't expect to be nearly as exciting as some of these other games that have higher totals. But this is a very good Clippers team. It's a pretty good Celtics team. And you've got Paul George, who took 21 shots in his last game. He only went 7 for 21. Let's say he goes 13 for 21. He's going to annihilate that 8.4 price point. So I know you're not comfortable if you're playing one team. If you're playing several teams, though, you're going to be so different if you play, let's say, George or Kawhi with a Westbrook or a Beal. You're going to be completely different from the entire field.
Yeah, like one of my tournament ideas was like, instead of playing like, because you're going to see a lot of Jokic and Giannis today, right? You're going to see a lot of Jokic, Giannis, and then some Ja Morant. Why not just don't play Ja, don't play Jokic, and then switch that out for like Kawhi and who am I thinking? Kawhi and Westbrook, right? Those salaries like almost match up. Maybe it has to be Paul George for it to match up identically, but close enough where that's something I've looked at as like a pivot and kind of messing with. Big T, what about the Celtics, right? We're waiting on Jaylen Brown news. Do you think he's in? Do you think he's out? And how do you handle these Celtics here?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of my issue with the Clippers is as long as these guys are in, like, it's basically the worst possible matchup both ways. I mean, Jaylen and Tatum versus Kawhi and Paul George, you got good defenders on each other. So I just think it's not the best of spots. I hope Jaylen just plays so that, I mean, I don't even know what would open up. I mean, if Jaylen sits, Kemba's obviously a better play, but he's starting to get priced a little bit higher, 73 on DK, 68 on FanDuel. I don't know. Like, I just don't like this game.
Yeah, no, I get it for sure. It's definitely not one of the best games on the slate. I would say Tatum, if Brown is out, would be my favorite if I had to pick, but I would need Jaylen Brown to be out. We have starters, nothing big on the Wizards. Garrison Matthews will start. And I talked about how obviously the 3-point shooting can, be obviously something you can attack Memphis at. Do you guys get excited about Garrison Matthews starting at 3.5K? Anyone? Big T, JT?
Oh, Garrison Matthews, the trend has been Garrison Matthews starts, plays 12 minutes, takes 3 shots, and then spends the rest of the night watching the game with popcorn on the sidelines. I mean, I just don't have a lot of interest because what's going to happen is Bertans is going to come in for him. And if he gets hot, Garrison Matthews is going to see the court again.
Yep, I think that makes sense. I'm not really excited about Matthews. I'll see what the models say, but I don't want to go to him too much. I doubt Big T does either.
I swore to myself the last time that he was chalky at 3K, and I watched him and I like rooted on him, and I swore to myself I would never play him again. He was that bad. Like, he was that bad. Yeah, if he hits every shot and gets a few lucky rebounds, then maybe he gets you 25 or something. But man, he was really bad. I can't do it. Like, I would play about anyone before I'd play him.
You'll play my boy Mr. Neto, right? You'll play him instead.
I would play basically anyone over Garrison Matthews. I got to be honest. Like, he did not do it for me that night.
Yeah, he's not getting you to the workbench.
You look up exercising in the dictionary, and his face pops up. He's just out there exercising for sure.
Yep, he will not be Tony's workbench play of the day. I'll tell you that right
No.
now. Let's go
He'd
on.
be my dry bench play of the night, though. I'll tell you that.
For sure. Let's go to the next game because, again, more injury news, and this could be really big. Atlanta Hawks, Miami Heat, 222 total. Tony, do you think Jimmy Butler plays? What's your thoughts on it?
I don't know. With it being All-Star week, I kind of lean anyone that's questionable is just going to take the extra time and I think some teams could do that too. And when we get to the Lakers game, I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but you got to be worried about it when it's the late game and the only late game. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these studs, especially all-stars, that know they're going to have to travel for this thing and do their thing all weekend. I wouldn't be shocked to see a few guys sit either on this end or the front end of the backside. And I just wouldn't be shocked. So Jimmy Butler, I don't know what's going into All-Star break. Why would they rush him back, I guess, is what's the update on him? Like, what does it say?
It's just questionable. We might get it here in 5 minutes, right? Because that's when that report comes out. But there are 7:30 games, so sometimes you don't get to hear the coaches till about. If it's a 7:30 game, you won't hear the coaches till 6. So there's a chance you don't get it till 6. But that 5:30 report does come out in 5 minutes.
I would guess he sits, though. I mean, obviously, the over-under dude from yesterday is going to come in when I'm wrong and make fun of me or whatever, saying I'm misleading people. But it's All-Star break. I don't really see why they would push him. The Heat are playing better basketball. I guess he sits. I mean, if I had to guess. And if he sits, I mean, you got to look at the same people we did last game. I mean, Dragic totally busted. Well, he ended up getting lucky and almost getting there, but it took a late stretch because I had Dragic and I was rooting him on. But I think you can definitely come back with Dragic, maybe even either way, even if Jimmy plays. I love these bounce back spots when a guy's super popular, lets everyone down a little bit. Everyone saw Nunn crush the other day. I would still play Dragic over Nunn almost no matter what. Hero sucked the other day too. Hero went for what? 4 for 10 from the field, 23 fantasy points. I like those guys if Jimmy sits against Atlanta. I think it's a very good spot, especially with how the last game went. And then the Atlanta side, man, so is my boy Bogdan seriously going to play? Because he's definitely the best value of the slate if he plays.
Well, he's going to play, Tony, but he's on a minutes limit, and we don't know. We don't know. Like, so are you playing him no matter what? Or
yeah, unless they tell me he's playing like 12 minutes.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing I was wondering. By the way, Jaylen Brown is available, so we just got that news. So that'll definitely hurt those Celtics guys and not really on them. I'm sure everyone agrees. But yeah, Bogdanovich, I want to know what the minutes limit is going to be. I mean, if it's going to be like only 16 or 18, that's fine. Like, I think I'll play him at 3K.
Well, everyone's going to play him if we knew that. That's the thing. Like, we got to gamble a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm wondering when we'll get the news on it, right? I assume you're going to get it at, again, like the time that I said, 6 o'clock, when you start hearing from the coaches. That's my assumption is when you'll get that. You're a Tony Snell guy, JT. You're also an Atlanta guy. We got a brand new coach in there. Is this going to hurt Tony Snell with Mr. Bogdanovich, and are you locking him into your lineups?
So it's Nate McMillan, who was on Lloyd Pierce's staff, very close with Pierce. Not sure exactly what they hope to change other than stop losing games. I mean, I don't expect the rotations to be all that different. I think starters will be important. I would expect there to be some change in the starting lineup, but if there's not, then I think we have to assume that it's going to be the same rotations. It's tough to be interested in this situation for the Hawks with, kind of this coaching change with now another body being inserted where I know they're down because Reddish and Herter are out, Reddish and Hunter are out, but I don't know. I was looking earlier today and Gallinari at 4.9, he took 10 shots last game, only hit 2. This is another guy. He's just going to chuck it up. And if he hits his shots, he can make value. Just becomes a little bit more of a tougher path with Bogdanovich back because you don't know how many minutes he's going to play. Trey had a terrible shooting game, but it seemed like if you watch the game, they were moving the double and run traps for Trey the whole night. So I don't expect Collins to smash again. I think him and Capella I don't know. I think there's better plays because of what their price points lock you into in terms of roster construction on this slate. And then I agree on the Miami side. It comes down to Butler. If he sits, then I'll have some interest in particular Dragic and Harrow. But that's the way I see it. I'm not interested in Tony Snell tonight.
I think that makes sense. What about the Heat side though, JT? Like I think the big issue I've noticed with the Heat, so Nunn is a great play and it's someone I want to play, but the problem is he's not shooting guard eligible, right? And shooting guards, again, it's not my favorite spot. I guess we have Derrick Rose that we can plug in there, but he could be, Dragic is not going to be his own compared to Derrick Rose, and he could be a really interesting tournament pivot. What do you think of Goran Dragic at 5.4K?
Yeah, I like Dragic if Butler's out. If Butler's in, then it gets very crowded. And I think the price points are just right if they're going to have their regular normal minutes. If you tell me that Harrow in particular, I guess Harrow will play his 30 minutes regardless, right? He played, I think, 29 the other night, his first game back. But with Butler out, then that gives them a little bit more upside at those prices, Harrow and Dragic in particular at 6K and 5.4 or 5.6. So yeah, for me, only if Butler is out, because I think there's some other spots to attack where minutes are absolutely guaranteed.
Big T, give me your final breakdown here on some of these Hawks and Heat guys without having the news.
Yeah, I hope Jimmy's out just so that I think Hero and Dragic are good plays, especially Dragic. I really want to play Dragic off that stinker. I'm definitely higher on Bogdan. I can't see him playing less than bare minimum 15 minutes, but I could see him playing, catching a run and getting up to 20. 3K, he's just too talented for that price point. And I don't know. I want to get more news, but I'm a little afraid that they come out and say 20 minutes or something and then just everyone plays him. I'd almost rather it be a little murky to where I have to gamble and just no one plays him, because I really think he could catch an extended run if they play him. They have to know they're not going to bring him back before the All-Star break if they're not confident in his health.
Yeah, the thing I like about the 3K price tag is like if he only plays like 15 minutes and if he just gets me like 15 fantasy points, he's not going to kill me at that price. Like all these people, sometimes they play like guys that are at like 5.9K and like the dude gets them like 28 and I'm like, okay, like sure, whatever. Like that's not great at that price.
Yeah.
It's like if I get that 3K guy, I get a stud that just puts me over the top and carries me over the finish line, like Russell Westbrook, right? Like those are those guys that I love having into my lineup. So
people don't realize that yeah, you play the 6K guy to get you 30. That's no different than playing the 3K guy to get you even like 12. Like there's no difference in that.
Oh yeah.
As long as your studs do their thing, which the studs have been doing their thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we definitely have studs doing their thing tonight. We're around 5:30, so we should be getting some news coming in. And we have another game that we got to talk about at the 8:30 game. But Big T, it's 7:30, right? And then we go to 8:30. That's an hour between lock. That's when you can step away from the Discord, right? All the tilters are going off. You can grab some dinner. And you know what else you can grab, Big T? You can grab your Manscaped bag, which I finally had sent over to me. And I'm going to open it up and show the people right here.
I can't wait to see what you got.
So this is what you sent me. My banged up thumb is not appreciating it, JT. Just so you know.
You need to get that backdrop off for a minute so that we can actually see your stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, can you? Well, I'll try and post it in front. Maybe you'll be able to see it. But what you got me? You got? Oh, this is the wrong thing. I grabbed the wrong box. Oh, I ruined everything, JT. So I don't have the box with me. I grabbed the box for paint cans instead. I have the wrong box.
You gotta go
Show
get
us.
it.
I mean,
talking about the
now we're excited to see what you have. Show us what you picked up.
I picked up paint cans, man. I don't know what happened.
What is this?
I don't know. Some stain.
What are you running graffiti in the streets of New Jersey?
No, yeah. So I'll go get it right now. How about this? We'll talk about the Knicks and Nets game. I just ruined the whole thing. I had it all planned out, or not Knicks and Nets. I'm all flustered. Talk about the.
Go get some ointment for your thumb. We'll take care of this. Go ahead.
And yeah, I'm going to get it. Be right back. Sorry about that.
Oh man! So talk about who you like in this game.
So the Knicks are in San Antonio. San Antonio's on a back-to-back. In ordinary circumstances, I hate this team in particular on back-to-backs. Now they're down bodies, but all these guys, a lot of these guys, like even I don't know how to say his name, so screw it, right? You know, Jacob P, right? Jacob P played like 36 minutes last night. He almost never plays 36 minutes, right? So his minutes are going to be lower tonight. I think on the San Antonio side, I think you can look at DeJounte Murray because his price is down a little bit. Knicks have been really bad against point guards. But again, the minutes worry me, so I don't know if I'm going to play him at that price point. So I think Lyles is probably the safest play at 4-2 on this team. I think DeRozan probably gets 30 some odd minutes. And then on the Knicks side, you have to love these starters. They're just, I mean, Thibodeau left all of his starters in up 20-some points to close the game in Detroit the other night. Noel played 40 minutes. Randall played 40 minutes. Derrick Rose on a back-to-back played 32 minutes. Derrick Rose at 5'9", it sounds ridiculous to say it. He's got to be one of the safest plays on the slate the way that San Antonio has been against point guards because I think he's going to play another 38 minutes. So I think Rose, Randall, Noel from this team. And we're talking about 3K guys. It's not a safe play. But if you looked at the winner of the $600 tournament last night, the winner got 12 points out of Chuma Okeke from Orlando, right? Obi Toppin is stone minimum 3K. And he played 19 minutes. So let's say Randall and Noel play 40 minutes. He's going to play 16 to 20 minutes as the backup for those two guys at 3K. You saw what DeAndre Jordan and Nick Claxton, of all people, did to this team last night. I think there are worse ways to spend 3K to get the lineup around you that you want.
What'd you come up with, Mango?
All right, so here we go. I got the Manscaped thing that you sent me, Tony. It's got all the good stuff in it. We got the T-shirt, right? The Manscaped shirt. Your balls will thank you, right? So this is all stuff you can buy on the site, right? What else you sent me here, Tony? You got?
I don't know. Tell me what I sent you.
I got JT. Do you have your razor with you, man? Right by. I don't know if this one's gonna work right now, but
it'll work.
Oh,
Let's
JT,
see.
Oh, there you go.
Away. There we go. Beautiful. I didn't know if it needed. I got
you gotta get rid of the background.
Yeah.
What's behind you?
I can try and get rid of the background. I just don't want to mess it up for the producers. So let me get rid of the
Are your
background.
grandparents eating dinner behind you? Is that what
That would be it.
That would be gold. No one's here. I gotta get rid of the background.
Nice little blue light special behind you. You got a little takeout from the diner.
Hold on. Let's find it. How do I get rid of the background here? I haven't done this in so long.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm dropping the ball.
Nico is ruining the mood here.
I've never missed hoop so much.
Oh man, I'm ruining everything right now. I don't want to.
Where's Holden? We've been saying Matt Go's the better host for weeks. Where's Holden?
I got the boxer briefs. I'm not opening those up, but the boxer briefs, you can see it on the screen there, right?
Travis, put them on. Travis, put them on.
No. JT, you don't want to see them on, do you?
Come on, give the people what they want. Listen, DFS Wolfpack in chat is excited. He wants to see you put them on.
Well, listen, DFS Wolfpack, you're gonna get a lot of likes going on right now. A lot of likes to get those boxers on by the end of the show.
How many likes to get the boxers?
Yeah, how many likes do we need for Mango?
515?
We need 1,000. We got 800,000 watching. We need
515 and Mangone puts the boxers on. Let's go, get it moving.
And then we got the ball deodorant, right? And the ball toner.
Is the best.
Which is better? The toner or the deodorant? Which one toner?
I spray the toner up underneath the bag.
Yeah, you got to do that.
I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, Mango, but as soon as I said 515 to get you to put the boxers on, the likes haven't moved. So I don't know.
Going backwards.
The chat's a little concerned.
Oh man,
from like 450 down to like 420 after the.
Yeah, the likes are getting taken away. We're down to 400. No,
likes are shrinking. They're shrinking.
Oh man, but that's too good. But that's all the great stuff you get with Manscaped. And we didn't mention the promo code you can use. Use the code RUNPURE20. You get 20% off. You get free shipping, not from BigT, right to FedEx. That's for the t-shirt, which, we'll be doing soon. Once we get all those likes up, you'll be getting that. But I'm all flustered. I can't handle it. We got news that came out too while we were on the show. Like Marc Gasol is out. I don't know how much that impacts things for you guys. I don't know if you guys talked about that because we don't have a lot of value, but we'll get to there when we talk about the Lakers. The Knicks side, I heard you talking Nerlens Noel a little bit, and I think he's going to be on that cash chart today, JT.
Yes.
He's getting a ton of minutes, and it's like, how do I not play him? Like, if you talk about good chalk, bad chalk, I think he's good chalk, right? I think he's someone that I want.
He's like horrific chalk for the.
Why? So tell me why he's horrific chalk. I don't understand that.
I just literally have, I have so much confidence that he's not going to beat me that it's not even funny. Like, I literally couldn't be more confident in anything in the world that he's not going to beat me.
He's not gonna get 50. He could get you to 30.
Like, I don't think he's gonna get 30. Like, I'm not even worried about him getting 30, and he's 5.2K.
Why though in this matchup when he just did it against Detroit?
He got 35 in 40 minutes.
I know he's gonna play 40 minutes tonight.
I'll definitely take the under on 40 minutes. Like, he could get in foul trouble. He could He could. Like, I'll just say it. Like, he's gonna be 50% owned. Nerlens Noel.
Oh, that's all right. So that's a different. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fine.
Yeah, he's going to be high owned because again,
I think he's like horrific chalk. Like,
yeah, I disagree. Just because I think
and he's a center on top of it.
He's going to get so many minutes tonight. I mean, again, like I'm not asking the guy to go for 45 or anything like that. He's just one of those guys that you plug in there, and I feel
he gets you 24. Like, oh, congratulations, you got 24 from Nerlens Noel. Like, have a good day.
Yeah, I mean, 24 can get the job done, you know.
I mean, 2 games ago, 41 minutes, 23 fantasy points against a team that can't stop bigs. There's your night. Congratulations. 24 from Nerlens Noel at 50% owned. Like, I'm going to go ahead and play a guy named Jokic that gets 77 burgers at my center.
I could play both, right? I mean, I got 2 center slots, so obviously that messes things up too.
I'm not even remotely concerned about Nerlens Noel. I'll take a hard stand on him.
Well, what about Derrick Rose?
I'll play Obi with my man JT though at 3K. I'll play Mr. Obi.
Yeah, Obi is interesting if they actually start giving him some run. He's really talented.
They don't have any dudes. Like, they don't.
I wish they would give him run.
Nerlens gets in foul trouble.
That's all.
Obi outscores Nerlens.
So I understand the argument of not playing Noel at 50%. Look, I think I've played him once this whole stretch since Robinson went down. But I think if you look at, you've got 3 guys. You've got Randall, right? You've got Noel, and then you've got Toppin behind them. So I almost think you've got to be interested in some of those guys for your lineups because they're probably 2 of those 3 guys, right, are going to play 30. Randall's going to play 40 no matter what happens. So let's say Noel gets in foul trouble. Then you've got Toppin. If you get a 3K Toppin at 25 minutes, I mean, you got to be excited about that against Jacob B and Lyles, right?
I hope you get 25 minutes, but like that 25 minutes is like not guaranteed at all. Like
No, that's
I mean,
if
that's
Noel
something
gets
like,
in foul trouble.
yeah, and you have to hope he obviously gets in the foul trouble. I think that I've been looking for punts to just kind of jam in a bunch of studs, and he's someone that I did look at and consider because I think he does make some sense. It's just Tom Thibodeau never gives him run. It's so frustrating. It took him forever to give Quickly run, and he's just still not doing it with Toppin, which has been quite frustrating.
I mean, he played 19 minutes. He's min price.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And the thing
I
is,
think Obi is like infinitely a better play than Noel. Like infinitely a better play.
And the thing about Thibodeau is he didn't give Quickly any time until he had to give Quickly time because people were out. This is the same situation. He's got Robinson out. He's got Taj out. He's got nobody to back these guys up. So I think it is a spot where he could play big minutes.
I also think it helps guys like RJ Barrett a ton too that can slide down and play a little bit bigger. I mean, I know he's a small forward, but he's cheap too. Like I'll play any one of these dudes over Nerlens Noel at 50% on. Like literally anybody on the roster. Like Nerlens Noel sucked. He went to Kentucky. He sucked at Kentucky. He sucked every year in the NBA, and now he's 50% owned. Are you kidding me? Just because he played 40 minutes back-to-back games? He didn't do anything in the 40 minutes.
I mean, he wasn't that bad. Like
He was terrible. He played 40 minutes back-to-back games and got 35 and 23.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
that's terrible.
35 is not terrible.
In
like
40 minutes?
But that's wrong, Tony. 35 is not terrible.
Play Nerlens Noel. I hope everyone plays him tonight. He's a lock. Play him. Highlight him in green on the cash chart. I want everyone to play Nerlens Noel.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think he's a good cash play. It depends too on the slate too, because like we did just get some news, right? And I am curious what you guys think.
Better not take people off Nerlens. Like,
it probably won't. I don't know if the Marc Gasol stuff will. That's something to evaluate once we get all we can evaluate.
Was Marc Gasol? I have a question because I heard something disturbing earlier today, and I want to verify. Was Marc Gasol on the cash chart?
No, he was definitely not on the cash chart.
I heard he was on the cash chart. I hope it was fake news.
His name's Nerlens Noel.
No, Nerlens Noel is definitely on it. What about well, Kyle Anderson is out now, right? So that's you guys didn't like the Memphis value as much, but does that change your
tonight is JT. Value? If we can't win the money tonight as tournament players. The dustiest chalk plays of all time tonight on this slate. Memphis, freaking Desmond Bane's going to be chalky. Sure. Nerlens Noel's going to be chalky. It's like Christmas tonight in tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, Toppin. What's it called? Bane is going to be super high owned probably now. I'm sure he's getting more ownership. I assume people are going back to Winslow, which I'm still uneasy on Winslow. But yeah, that's how it's all going down. What about Derrick Rose? You guys haven't talked about him. I want to hear about Derrick Rose because he is going to be chalky too. And he is definitely someone where like, if he gets the run, yeah, you like him, but he is pricey. And on top of him being pricey, he's someone that on a second night of a back-to-back, is there a chance he doesn't get as much run to a guy like Quickly?
Ooh, Derrick Rose?
Yeah.
So this isn't a back-to-back for the Knicks. So they played Saturday and Sunday, and the reason I didn't play Rose, first of all, he smashed Saturday, and I didn't play him on the back-to-back thinking that Thibodeau was, like one of these other NBA coaches that didn't want to see his guys die on the floor, which was a mistake. And Rose played, I think, 32 or 33 minutes on a back-to-back. Rose is almost assured 36 minutes, and San Antonio gives up the second most fantasy points to point guards on the slate. So 5'9", I don't care. I know he's going to be 20% owned, but first of all, he's not going to be nearly as high owned as John Morant will be now that news is hit. And I just don't see any way Rose doesn't make value tonight, the way he's been playing, the way Thibodeau's been rolling him out. I'm not interested in any of these other secondary guards because they're all splitting a bunch of minutes, but I am interested in Rose.
Yeah, I do think he's in play. Big T, talk about Rose and then talk about the Butler news that just came out. So give me your take on him, and then how does that change everything for Miami?
Yeah, I mean, just to polish up the Knicks, I mean, I like these other guys. I mean, I know I've already gone on a rant about it, but I don't understand even what the difference in a guy like Bullock in Nerlens Noel is. Like, Bullock's going to play I mean, he played 22, 28 minutes, got 20 fantasy points, 18 fantasy points, 15 fantasy points for 3,500. I literally don't understand what the difference is besides the minutes. Like, I just don't get it. But everyone knows how I feel about it. Like, I like everyone on the slate more than Nerlens Noel.
But would you just refresh? I have a short-term memory issue. Would you just one more time? What do you think about Nerlens Noel? Smash play lock.
I can't believe that he's going to be 50% owned. Nerlens Noel.
He's definitely gonna have ownership, but like it could change some stuff up. With
everyone's been blowing him all day, like full blow.
I mean, it could change a little though, because obviously people might go to Bam more, and Bam is only
people love minutes though. Like people fondle their ball sack over minutes. Like they get so excited. Like 40 minutes, like they love it. They friggin' love it. But yeah, I mean the Heat, like we talked about, we already basically were planning on Jimmy being out. I'm glad he's out. So now we can fire like Dragic. I think Dragic for sure is one of the better plays of the slate. I can't wait to come back for, like I said earlier, just to say the same thing now that it's official. Like he let us down a little bit. None went off. I think they flip-flop tonight. I think Dragic goes off. I think Hero is a really good play. I love both of those guys a ton tonight against Atlanta.
Yeah, I think Tiller Hyro. The chat was giving me a hard time, so I'm going to try and get his name right. Tiller Hyro, I think that's how you say it. Yeah, he's a good play coming off a 4 for 10 shooting performance.
Yep, that all makes sense. Let's go on over to the next game.
The chat. I mean, I got to circle back again. Noel has higher upside than Bullock. Why? He's 2K more. Why does he have more? What is anyone seeing to make them think that? Maybe I'm just missing something. Like why?
Yeah, I can explain this, even though you're not going to like it. I think it's the fact that Bullock is not going to play 35 to 40 minutes, and Noel.
But he's also going to have usage.
I mean, Bullock.
Bullock. Come on,
Tony. Bullock doesn't have usage. Bullock is like Tony Snell's like stepbrother. I mean, come on.
What is Nerlens Noel?
No one's saying that. But you can't tell me. You can't use the words Bullock and usage in the same sentence.
Like he doesn't have any usage.
Neither does Bullock. Bullock has no usage. At least Noel gets steals and blocks. Bullock's just going to stand there in the corner with Tony Snell.
Yeah, that's what Noel's going to do. Except
I mean, Bullock's going to take 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 3-point shots. And he's got to have him go on, he's got to have him go in. So, yeah, he's got a chance. He's only 3.5. Bullock's not a terrible play, but he's not going to be on the court for all that time. But you make a point. You make a great point. First of all, let me be clear. I would much rather play Julius Randle than Noel. It's easily, for me, Julius Randle number one if I'm playing those three. And then Toppin and Noel. Toppin I view as more of a risk. But I don't think you can compare the minutes upside between Noel and Bullock.
Though, like the dude's 3,500 and he's been between 13 and 20 fantasy points every game. That's
and it's a great matchup.
3,500.
Yeah, no, I can't argue against that play.
But he's not going to be chalk. No, I mean I've already talked enough about it. People know how I feel. You can move on.
Let's move on. I wanted to move on when I heard the words Bullock and usage in the same sentence. That's where I was out.
Just keep jamming that 50% Nerlens Noel, and we'll move on.
We'll see. I might not, Tony. I've been better, right?
You probably won't. It's the best part. You've definitely impressed.
Did you see his tournament lineup the other night?
I've been impressed with him. I've talked Mangona up harder than anyone almost. He's done good tournament teams. I give him credit.
Well, we'll have to see what happens. I do like him a lot, but I gotta like digest all this news because I do think it's going to change stuff up. Yeah. But let's talk Denver and Milwaukee, and this is where Big T thrives, right? Talking about his Nuggets, and I know Big T is going to be plugged into this game, watching Giannis, hoping that his Nuggets can pull off the upset. Do they pull off the upset, Big T? And is Jokic going to be on all your lineups?
It's tough. I mean, if the game stays close, I don't see how Giannis and Jokic don't crush. I mean, it's that simple. And honestly, I like the Nuggets whenever they're an underdog. I've said it all year. If they're a big favorite, I don't necessarily like them. They just play a lot of close games. It's what they do. They play down to their competition. They play up to their competition. It's just I'm as big a Nuggets fan as there is, and it's just what they do. So today as an underdog, I think they play up to their competition. And Jokic, I think he crushes. And I don't know. Yeah, there is some risk. It's a back-to-back. It's in Milwaukee. Drew Holiday's back. It is a blowout spot on paper if you just look at it. And I do think, like, if you're playing 2 or 3 teams, definitely build at least one where you're fading the studs in this game and playing the cheap guys, like I said. PJ Dozier busted yesterday. Great bounce back at a cheap price. Kankar, or however you pronounce his name, 3K, 20 minutes yesterday. Did I say it wrong, JT? How do you say it?
You think I know? You think I know how to pronounce his name? Come on.
I mean, I didn't want to say
Vladimir.
cancer for Brad
That guy's
Motel. I had to say Kankar. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
Close enough. Close enough.
I like it. I'm just going to go with it either way. Like you taught me, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I think you go both directions. If I play one team, I'm probably going to play Jokic. I mean, the dude is just out of his freaking mind. I mean, 58, 61, 77 yesterday. Brook Lopez can't guard him. Maybe we even get lucky and they try to guard him one-on-one, which we've seen at times. I mean, I have a hard time fading Jokic. It's just the truth. I just trust him. He's just really, really good right now. And if I had to choose one, it would be him. But I like both. I mean, Giannis is in a good spot too. I've seen a bunch of people talking up Middleton. He's in a good spot. The Nuggets struggle to guard people like Middleton. The last time they played, he went for 60. I like him again tonight.
Yep, that makes sense. JT, how about you? I mean, I like Giannis, right? I like Jokic. These are all great plays. I was thinking of prioritizing Giannis over Jokic, but I'm still going back and forth on it. I do think based on positions, I'm going to go to Giannis. How about you?
Yeah, you got to have room for Nerlens. You got to clear that space for him.
Yeah, you got to clear the space for Mr. Nerlens Noel. You know, I'm doing 150 teams, Tony, and I'm putting Nerlens on every team. You've caught me. That's what I'm doing on this. JT, what about Jokic? What about Mr. Giannis? I think it's tough, but Giannis has been phenomenal, and that Nuggets defense has been horrific. I lean Giannis.
Yeah, I've struggled with this game all day today because I just don't love the pricing of these other plays on the slate. I mean, you know, Jamal Murray is still priced up, obviously. You've got now a Milwaukee team that's got Jrue Holiday back. He's not playing full minutes. He didn't start that game either. But it's just more minutes to go around. And the way that Milwaukee uses their rotations, you know that some of these guys like Portis and others are going to get some minutes here. So if I'm picking, usually what I do is I pick the guy who's not on a back-to-back. So I would lean towards Giannis. I mean, but Giannis at 11K, like if this game is for some reason less than a competitive back and forth, then he's, you know, he could still meet that price, but I just think there's so much risk there as opposed to the Washington guys. But yeah, I think it's probably for me tonight. I don't know, because, you know, Tony's right too. Jokic has been so good, even on back-to-backs, but he went for 77 fantasy points last night. Is he going to do that again? You know, I know he still makes value if he hits a little bit below that, but this is a tough one for me. I would lean Giannis over Jokic just a little bit if I was playing just one.
Yeah. Now, Tony, you talked about some of these Nuggets, like cheap guys, right? Like you said, oh, there's a possibility for the blowout, right? And some of these like cheaper guys can get there. Who are those cheaper guys that you're really excited about?
Yeah, I mean, PJ Dozier would be my favorite for sure. He really let people down as chalk yesterday. I love coming back with people after they're super chalky and they bust, and now the exact same spot today, and no one's going to play him really. So I like that. And then, yeah, Kankar, however you say his freaking name, 3K. Zeke Naji, I don't like him as much, but he's 3K too. I mean, we've talked about it every show since we've started NBA. Any of these 3K guys that get minutes are in play. Like, yeah, there's risk to them. They're a 3K dude. We've had times where the dude didn't even play. They fell out of the rotation and stuff, but there's risk, but there's not all that much risk unless they just literally don't play. And even then we've seen people ship with zeros at times. So I don't know. I like these guys. I'd rank them PJ, Kankar, Zeke Naji would be my third bet. I think Monte Morris is a good bounce back spot too. He let everyone down yesterday, and I think he's in a really good spot. I like Denver a decent amount. Like I said, I like playing Denver as an underdog.
Yep, think that makes sense. Listen, Tony, I really want to ship with a 0 in my lineup, and that's why I'm playing Nerlens Noel tonight. I'm trying to ship with that fat 0 in my teams. Let's move on to the last game, and then we're going to give out the workbench play, right? We'll give out my dry hump play. We'll give out JT's Eiffel Tower play, which I don't know. Did you see on Twitter, JT? The Eiffel Tower in the winter shrinks 6 inches. How's the Eiffel Tower doing this time of year?
I mean, I got to be honest, especially with the pandemic. I mean, we all shrink a little bit over this last year, right? I mean, it's been tough to maintain that perfect posture, but I have confidence that the tower will bounce back.
Yep, and hit the like, hit the subscribe for us. We're almost there, right? 500, I think, was the number, but there's almost 900 watching. Like, Hoop says it a lot, right? We want you guys to not just get us over the hump, keep going, right? Don't just stop. So, and we'll be giving away some gear to one of our chatters.
I swear the chat is just, it's ridiculous how dumb some people are. Like, this man, Big T, grilled Noel and come back with PJ Dozier's 3.2K and 3% owned. Nerlens Noel is 5-something and 50% owned. If that doesn't resonate with you, I don't know how to help you, KJ.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between that is, hey, like, you get $2,000 that you can spend for Michael Porter Jr. to
in the ownership. If Nerlens Noel busts, the whole night is gravy train for me. Like, I don't know how. If that doesn't make sense, KJ, you need to tune into something else.
Well, he could tune in. He just, he has to get in the Discord
he's
chat
not even
and
allowed
learn.
to tune in if that doesn't make sense to him.
Not okay. So KJ will hopefully you can figure it out. I want to keep you here, right? I want you to hit that like button, that subscribe, and stay around. So listen to Big T. Don't fade Big T on those heaters. So maybe I won't either. Let's talk Suns and Lakers. I did the bet show today, and I love the Sun side money line. JSU liked the money line side too, and so did Spread. We were all on that. JT, we'll go to you first. How are you handling this Lakers Suns game? Because I like this Sun side a ton.
I don't necessarily love the Suns side a ton. I think they have some of the best pricing of this game. I think DeAndre Ayton at 6-7 on DraftKings, especially, not especially, but just they don't have Davis anymore. Centers have been doing a little bit better against them. I think Chris Paul at 7-5 on DraftKings is in play as a contrarian play. I don't love a whole lot else. I'm not going to go back to Booker after an insane shooting night against the Timberwolves. Is a much more difficult, much more slower matchup. And then on the Lakers side, honestly, I mean, I think you have to consider Monty now that Gasol is out, and Schroeder gets a little bit of a price drop to 5-7, but I don't know. I don't love this game overall. I know that it's going to be low owned. I know that there's some leverage opportunity here, but it just isn't my favorite game. And maybe you guys can convince me of why I should feel differently.
Yeah, and I meant more for the betting perspective, right? I'm not like firing Suns in my lineups. I should clarify.
Okay.
Big T, this is not a game that I'm all over too much, but I am looking at Marc Gasol news, right? Like that does matter. I mean, that could change some Nerlens Noel 5,200 chalk to a 5,600 Montrezl Harrell, right? What do you think that does, Big T, for Mr. Harrell?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to stick off the page. 5,600, 6,500 on FanDuel. I memean, everyone's going to look there. So we're already at 513 likes. Ever since the beginning of the show, once we got the Gasol news, I knew who the workbench play was going to be. So I'm just going to break the trend, just how I like to do. I'm going to get right into the workbench play early. We can circle back with your guys' plays in a minute because the timing is now. It's not Montrezl Harrell, though, and we need a little bit of injury news. I think he's going to play, though. Damian Jones at 3K, baby. He looked good the other night with Marc Gasol out. This dude played. What did he play the other night? He played only 8 minutes. He had 16 fantasy points. The word around camp is that he's started to look really good and impress in practice and stuff. This is a true workbench play. It's in the late game. We don't even have the freaking injury news. I mean, I guess you could put – how much is Markieff? You could put like Markieff in there and then pivot to Damian and just make sure you have the 400 or something just in case he somehow got rolled out or something. But, man, I freaking love Damian Jones. He's going to be 0% owned at least until like news hit later. Maybe somehow he can even start. Like I wouldn't be shocked at all if he starts in Marc Gasol's place. No one's going to have him. This is what the workbench is all about. There's definitely risk. We got to make sure he's in there because it's the only late game. But Damian Jones, man, I freaking love him tonight.
Yeah, I mean, JT, if you don't know, it's a Damian Jones revenge game. So me, Big T, we're dancing. Hector's dancing. We're all dancing to the revenge. Can you get behind the Damian Jones revenge narrative?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Someone, one of our favorite guys, one of our favorite subs, Gary. Everyone knows who Gary is. Gary was actually talking up not a lot, but a mild interest in Marc Gasol, which I immediately questioned, just wanting to know where he was coming from. And he said, well, he's cheap. And I said, okay, all right, no problem. He's cheap. And then someone else piled in and said, I'd rather play Damian Jones than Marc Gasol. Maybe he knew something. Maybe he knew that tonight was the night that Gasol was going to be ruled out. So, yeah, no, I actually think it's a good play. I think now, Tony, when you say news, you mean the news of who's starting?
No, I mean, I don't know if he's playing for sure. Like, he's questionable.
Oh, is Jones is questionable?
Yeah, as long as he's in there, then he's the play. I don't care if he starts, really.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's questionable. I think obviously, even if he's not out, I think you do have Markieff at 3-4. He becomes a more interesting play.
You can play both of them too. Like, I don't hate playing Markieff and because they don't really play the same. Maybe they play a little bit together. Even you can play them both for 6.4.
Yeah, I think that makes. Obviously, you have to make sure he's in, right? I don't know. Do you have?
He's right. I mean, I watched him the other night. Like, I think he plays.
He probably does against the former team, right? Big T. He's got to get.
We just got to make sure. Like, I just want to clarify because I know people watch this show and then he'll be ruled out and everybody will be like, "You said to play him," and you got to make sure he's in always with the NBA. But as long as he plays, I think he is an incredible play tonight.
Yeah, make sure he's in, and then obviously if he's not, head into the Discord and talk.
People were making fun of me about Claxton yesterday too, and I'm on a rampage already. Mr. Claxton went for a 30-piece to all the haters yesterday.
Tony, if I was on a show with you, I would have got excited about Claxton. I thought there were all great quotes on him, so I would have definitely been on board with you on that. JT, give me your Eiffel Tower play of the day. Everyone wants to know what it's going to be. It's cold outside, but we know you're still going to deliver. What is the Eiffel Tower play of the day?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I was toying with the idea of Patrick Beverley just because, like I said, I'm going to play Pat Beverley. I know you guys don't want to play him though. And the problem is there's some of these other plays that I like that are a little bit more highly owned. But I think that because people want to play Giannis and they want to play Jokic together, excuse me. I know that the fucking language pronunciation police are going to get on me. Look, I think he's going to be one of the lowest owned Knicks. I think he's the guy that operates. I know he's the guy that operates more as the centerpiece defensively on this team. Now that Mitchell Robinson is out, and Julius Randle, Eiffel Tower play of the day.
All right, Julius Randle, Eiffel Tower play of the day. I got the nice dry hump play of the day for you. I've been doing pretty good so far, so I'm trying to fire with another good one. Big T, I can't let you down. I'm going with Nerlens Note. Not so fast. I'm not giving Nerlens Noel.
That would be the best though if you would.
I can't give you Nerlens Noel. I'm giving you. We talked about at the top of the show. I think you guys will approve. I'm going to give you Mr. Russell Westbrook. And people will say, of course he's going to do well. He's a stud. He's going for 60. He's going for a triple-double.
On the slate anyways. I approve it. Yesterday I told Title he can't play Jokic. Westbrook's allowed.
All right, just want to make sure. I agreed. I agreed with you when you said not so fast on the Jokic. He couldn't do that.
And then Title was complaining like, he got 77. You can't say that's too easy. You got to challenge yourself.
Yeah, so we're going with Mr. Westbrook. He's going to be lower owned compared to some of the studs. I'll go with Russell Westbrook as my guy. But that'll wrap it up for us, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Pick a winner for the gear?
Oh, you're right. Pick the winner for the gear.
By the way, we're at 525. Is that the number to get you in the boxers?
No, that's not the number, JT.
Are you sure?
You'll have to tune in. Maybe next show I'll be in the boxers. You never know. We'll have to. That's what we call tease in the business, JT.
Okay. Oh, right.
So tune in next time for me on the Hardwood show to see if I am in the boxer brief.
Right. You get to see how his thumb is doing, by the way, after whatever the hell he did to it. Yes. Whatever that story was.
Oh man, too good. But we'll give away the gear. Big T, do you have someone, or do you want me to pick someone out?
No, I'll pick someone. just not KB or whatever that dude's
I got it here. So Brandon McNair says KJ's mom rosters Big T. So there you go. You know, we'll go with that. We'll go with
I do
that.
love the your mama jokes. They're always good. They're always reliable.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon with the good roasting. You can't abuse it too much, right? You say your mom 5 times.
It's always a timing. It's always when someone's really fired up at you and just hate you, just fire back with the your mom. It always works. It's perfect.
If you need a little help, Mangon, because you seem to be flustered, I mean, you're not sure whether you should go put the boxers on, get some more ice for your thumb. I get it. Mamba in here was the guy in our Discord who actually talked about wanting to play Damian Jones over Marc Gasol. And this was hours ago. Mamba for life. That was him. If you need some help, if you want to pick your own, I don't want to take away from you, but that was a helpful comment.
There you go. So look for Mama in the chat if you need your low own plays. But that'll wrap it up for us, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us. Check out Mr. JSU and Mr. Holden. They will be up on the next show doing the not after lock, before lock show, talking about the news, talking about everything that you guys need for your DFS lineups. But that'll wrap it up for us. Thanks a lot for joining us. For me, Mangone, JT, and Big T. See you guys later.